Hey everyone, it's Sean, and welcome to your fifth Autodesk Fusion 360 tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll actually be covering the actual creation of something like this, or a 2D CAD drawing from a 3D model that we designed. Okay, so the process is really simple. Just make sure you go ahead and hit save, give it a name, and then we'll go to File, we're going to go to New Drawing, and then From Design. Okay. From design, you'll see that this is already selected, and by default it should select a sheet size that will fit within our needs. Okay, but if you want something bigger, feel free to select any of these. Okay, I'm gonna hit OK. Alright, so it creates the sheet here, and now it's a matter of actually filling out some of these settings here to create our design. So the first thing it's asking for is what orientation we want to show our part in. So unfortunately, the one thing about Fusion that they have not yet done yet is the ability to allow you to dimension an isometric view. So there are two different types of views with 3D models. There is orthogonal views or orthographic views, or there are isometric views. Isometric views are views like this, okay? They're looked at it from a corner, okay? So the one I think we were looking at was the northeast corner is this isometric view. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a 1-to-1 ratio. So this is actually 1-to-1 in size of what it would actually look like. And I'm just going to first begin by just putting 1 in the corner, okay? Now, the next section is asking me what kind of style I want to see. So let's go ahead and look through the different styles. So with visible edges, if I hit OK, you can see it kind of looks very similar to this. If I double click on it, I can actually get the settings back up. And if I click with hidden lines, you can see all of the hidden lines that weren't shown before are now available to be seen. Then there is the shaded version, which actually is the model except with shading. And you have shading with hidden lines. Okay. In our case, because our isometric view isn't going to be used, this is where we will just use the shaded version of it and hit close. Okay. So we're just going to keep this as a bit of a reference for what the final part will look like. But with our other views, what we're going to go ahead and do is get our orthographic perspectives and dimension every single one of these so that the next person can go ahead and create the part. So I'm going to go ahead and hit base view. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with the front view, but I'm going to go through every single view. I'm going to only use the visible edges. Okay, and then in my scale factor, I'm going to keep it the same, 1-to-1. Start with my front view. Okay, put that down. I hit OK. Okay, we can see the front view. And then add my right view. Make sure that's 1-to-1. Okay, I'm going to actually leave the hidden edges on because I want them to see the through hole in this case. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here. Hit OK. And then our last view, which I believe is our top view, 1-to-1, lined up with this. Put that down. And I'm also going to use the hidden view. Okay, and we got something just like this. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start actually dimensioning. Okay, we'll start with this view right here. Okay, so what I first like to do is mark some of the centers. So using the center line marks, I will simply indicate their center lines just like they did. Okay, and that just shows these dotted lines. Next thing, we're going to go ahead and do a center mark so that we know where the center is of this part. Then we're going to go ahead and use our dimension tool. Okay, so we're just going to go through each one of these lines and make sure that all of them are being shown. So start with the 24. Okay, next one was this 48. So from the center to this bottom. Whoops, I overclicked. from the center point to this line right here. You'll see it's 48. Okay, put that out there. Next one, we're going to get this 30. So from here to here, got our 30. They got a 90 there. Here to here, 90. Great. Alright, so now we need to do our radiuses. So I'm just going to click on the outside. You can see it's given us a diameter. That's fine. And you can see that we also have this radius here, which, yeah, we're going to put in there, our 30. Okay, are there anything else that we missed? Okay, you need to get this 6 inch, I mean the 6 millimeter, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to go with 50 millimeters here. Okay. Alright, so I believe that is everything. Yep, that's everything. Okay, let's move on to this. So, kind of looks like the 50 is still associated with this, so I'm just going to go ahead and just by hitting the M button, you can see that I've selected the Move tool. Click my selection, use point-to-point transfer, and I'm just going to move this over just a tad bit. Okay, great. Now I'm just going to go back to Dimension tool, start laying out those dimensions again. I've got 24. I want to be able to indicate this line right here, which is the 50. That's the same 50 they used here. I'm going to indicate from here to here, indicating the length just as they did. And we're going to specify how deep this portion was, here to here, 72. Okay, last thing on this should be from here to here, just a 12. Good. Okay, I'm going to get a center mark right here, and then we're going to give it the radius. Just like that. Give it an R12. Okay. One thing we have not specified yet is the total height here, which comes out to 72. Okay. The 6 with the 12, we got the 72, you got 6. Okay, on this view, we are missing the 36 right here. And that is everything. Okay, so we've added all the dimensions for this part. You know, feel free, and if you feel like you have too many dimensions on one that and you don't have as many on this one, you can feel free to move some of these over to this, but just make sure that you have enough dimensions so that the person who is trying to replicate your part is actually able to recreate the part. Okay, so the last thing you're going to do to actually save this is just simply hit output file, okay, and then just hit OK, and it'll ask you to save it somewhere, and you can save it wherever you need to. For those of you who are in my class, just go ahead and save it, and then you can go ahead and upload this to Canvas. Make sure that it has your name on it, okay, and just give it a title, and that is pretty much all you need to do. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.